Guys, Wefes here and welcome to another episode of Knights of the Frozen Throne with his first impressions. This is part 4 and we have a whole bunch of cards we want to talk about, so let's just go ahead and start talking about them before I lose my breath and die of sickness, because I'm like sick. And if you can notice that my voice has changed, if my voice cracks, don't laugh, please. Next, okay, we have our first card, Acolyte of Agony. It's a 3 mana, 3/3 priest minion with lifesteal. It's a decent free drop for priests, except that it's not, because you'd rather play Talon Priest or Thought Steal instead. Even Shimmering Glimmer Root might be better because you get a card for that. So I think this is an okay only card. Of course, it's very playable in Arena, so it's only 5 out of 10. Next card, Brewer Locke. It's a 2 mana 2/3 shaman card. Battlecry, freeze an enemy, so more freeze effects for shaman. However, I feel like if you want to play free shamans are not really a thing, because your icebreaker is kind of like I think you'd rather play hex and stuff like that. It's still not good enough. But if you want to play Freeze Murloc, I think it's a little bit better, because now shamans have more than one Murloc synergy. If you play Finja, you play with Brewer Locke, you can play with like you still have your War Leader, your Bluegill, even your Colin, the finishers. Like you might even want to play this in a quest, Murloc quest kind of shaman instead of just a free shaman. So this is just a bonus effect of freezing if you play Murlocs. I think it's a really good mechanic that they have. Like it adds one more freeze mechanic to the shaman arsenal, and I think it's a good card overall. So 6 out of 10. Next we have Corpse Razor. It's a 5 mana 3/3 neutral rare. Battlecry, give a friendly minion Death Rattle, resummon this minion. So basically it's a Death Rattle reincarnate. I think it works best on Death Rattles, Divine Shields, Poisonous, or Taunt, obviously. So the first thing that comes to mind is like you might want to play this in a Paladin or a Hunter, and then you get a lot of value. You might even get value out of, like, for example, if you play mid-range shaman last time, when you have like an earth elemental and then you just reincarnate, and then you do this again, and then this will be OP. So I think it's good. Except that you need to have a valuable target on the board for it to work, right? For example, if your opponent keeps clearing your board and then you have this in your hand, it becomes a useless 3/3. And yeah, if your opponent knows that you have this card, then he won't let you have any minions on the board as well, right? So it really depends. Sometimes you just don't get a good target to reincarnate. For example, if you have a bomb squad on the board, you do not want to reincarnate that shit, right? But it's still a unique effect. Like you can do some crazy things with it. So I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Next we have Corpse Widow. It's a Hunter 5 mana 4/6. The stat line is already good. And then you have your Death Rattle cards cost 2 less. So a 4 mana Savannah Highmane is really good. So what do you want? What do you want to reduce the cost of? Like you want to reduce the cost of Rat Pack, you want to reduce the cost of Savannah Highmane, Abominable Snowman, and then you can even use Play Dead after that, because like you have extra mana, you can use Play Dead. You can even like play a 0 mana Raptor, right? Because the Raptor dies and to summon another Raptor later on. I think it's really good. I think Death Rattle cards, there are enough Death Rattle cards for Hunters right now for it to work. So I give it a 7 out of 10. I think Death Rattle Hunters are gonna see play. Next we have Play Dead. Like I said, Play Dead is a 1 mana trigger a friendly minion's Death Rattle, right? So now we have 3 trigger Death Rattle cards in Hunters. And why is Play Dead so good is because it's only 1 mana. 1 mana cards are really flexible. You can use them almost anywhere, and it helps for you to trigger combos. So it's for example, at turn 7 you can play your Savannah Highmane into Play Dead, or if you play Corpse Widow, then you can turn 6 play Savannah Highmane into Play Dead. It's gonna be so OP. It's just so good, right? You can do so many things with it. 8 out of 10. Next, we have Crypt Lord. It's a 3 mana 1/6 taunt for druids. After you summon a minion, gain +1 health. so it's plus 1 health, right? So basically the stat line is a little bit OP, right? 3 mana for a total of 7 stats is just insane. And then all you need to do is add one more minion, and then it becomes 1/7, and it's really already broken, right? Currently 3 mana for 7 stats. What's another 3 mana card that has 7 stats, like 3 mana free for Spider Tank, for example? And that's good, right? But then the text effect, like if you add one more stat, it becomes broken. You add more, and then it becomes even broken. Like for example, if you play Crypt Lord, you'll probably be playing things like Firefly, or even some pirate that pulls out the patches, so that this one becomes OP because it's summon, it's not play. So like whenever you do things like Force of Nature, which, okay, nobody plays Force of Nature, but for example, you play Force of Nature, and then this guy adds another free health to his taunt total, and I think it makes like druids more OP. Blizzard is trying to push for taunt druids to be a thing. However, I feel like they're not doing a very good job out of it. They are just only gonna make the current archetypes of druids to become stronger, right? You have big taunts to protect yourself from the early stages of the game, and then later on, all you have to do is play your Jade Golems into Jade Golems into Jade Golems into Jade Golems, hiding behind these big taunts, and then you're like, what the heck is going on? I can't do anything. So I'm gonna rate this card a really good, but I'm gonna rate Blizzard a 0. Next, we have Death Speaker. It's a 3 mana 2 for a neutral card. Battle Cry, give a friendly minion immune this turn. So basically, this is a very good arena card. Obviously, it's like a Argent Protector, except it's neutral, so everyone can play it. It's not so good in Constructed, obviously, because like, you know, like you're just effectively giving your friendly minion a Divine Shield and they trade into something, right? But if your friendly minion has Wind Fury, then you can trade into multiple things, and then it makes it a little bit better, right? Otherwise, it's just not good enough. So I'll give it a 6 out of 10 in Constructed. In Arena, it's really good. Next, we have Desperate Stand. It's a 2 mana Paladin spell. Give a minion Death Rattle. Return this to life with 1 health. So it's kind of like a more specific redemption. You're paying 1 extra mana to be more specific. However, definitely it works. Definitely it works well with Steward of Darkshire or Taunts, obviously. So except that you can only resummon 1 minion. So there might be better cards out there that are 2 mana and are spells that you can use better than Desperate Stand. So I'm just gonna rate it a 5 out of 10. It's okay, but it's not that good. Next, we have Trickster Defender. It's a 3 mana 2/8 Shaman card, Taunt, Overload, free. So basically the stat line is just insanely OP, right? The only problem is that you have to pay 3 mana in the next turn, and at turn 4 with only 1 mana you literally can't do anything, like unless you want to play another Firefly, for example, or Glacial Shard. It really depends on what archetype of shamans you're playing, but at turn 4 if you only have 1 mana you really can't do anything, and it might not be able to save you in the later stages of the game. However, if you play it like at turn 10, for example, next turn you have 7 mana, you can still do things. So I think it's a very good arena card, obviously, because like you can play it in the late game and you're almost gonna die. You top deck Trickster Defender, you just plop it on the board, and then ta-da, you have 8 hit, you have to deal 8 damage to this in order to go face, right? And then it becomes really good. So it really depends. It's a good arena card. Constructed, you really don't want to play something that's this costly so early on, so I'm giving it a 4 out of 10. Next, we have Embrace Darkness. It's a bad card. 6 mana, pre-spell. Choose an enemy minion at the start of your turn, take control of it. So nobody, even at 1 mana, nobody plays Corruption. So nobody will play Embrace Darkness at 6 mana. Just nobody, right? If you try and Embrace Darkness something, you're still gonna take extra, for example, you Embrace Darkness a very big minion, for example. They're gonna hit your face first, or they're gonna trade until like it has really low health, and then they give it to you, right? So it's really bad. I don't like it. 1 out of 10. Next, we have Fallen Sun Cleric. It's a 2 mana 2/1 neutral card.
Battle Cry, give a friendly minion +1/+1. So it's like a Shattered Sun Cleric but cheaper. So a cheaper cleric is always better, and it's just an arena card, 5 out of 10. Next we have Glacial Mysteries. It's an 8 mana mage spell. Put one of each secret from your deck into the battlefield. So it basically pays for itself if you have 3 secrets. If you have any more secrets than and any less secrets than that, then you're paying 8 mana to do nothing. I mean, technically you're not really doing nothing because you are pulling the secrets out of your deck into play, right? So okay, I guess you're paying for drawing the card, but I think it's still not good enough. It's anti-synergy with a lot of the current mage cards available, like Arcanologist and Cabal Crystal Runner, because you're not playing these secrets, you're just pulling them out. So Cabal Crystal Runner will not get the mana cost reduction, and the Arcanologist already pulls secrets out of into your hand, and so it won't be played into the board. It's not that good, right? You kind of wanna do one or the other, not both. So it really depends. It's a bad card overall, I feel, unless you don't want to play Arcanologist or Cabal Crystal Runner, which is kind of lame considering that they are some of the better cards for Secret Mage right now. So you could try an experiment for Secret Mage, but I still feel like that's a bad card. 3 out of 10. Next we have Ice Fishing. It's a Shaman 2 mana spell. Draw 2 Murlocs from your deck. So basically, it's a strong tutor card. Whenever you pull a specific kind of card, it's just really good, right? So for example, like you have a whole bunch of other cards available, and you have a select number of Murlocs. You play Ice Fishing, you get the select number of cards, and then you will never draw them again in the future. And it's really, really good, right? Because you control your options, and it makes Murloc Shaman so much more possible. You pull out Finja, you pull out something really, really strong, and then you can just freeze them and attack and zoo them in the same time. It's really, really good. Might be dangerous. 8 out of 10. Next we have Lilian Boss. It's a 4 mana 4/5 rogue legendary. Replace spells in your hand with random spells from your opponent's class. So basically it's Renounce Darkness, except that it's specific to your opponent's class. And no. 10. Clown out of 10. Next we have Mind Robber. 5 mana pre-spell. Copy 3 cards in your opponent's deck and add them to your hand, right? This is not good enough. Like at turn 5, you want to be doing things on the board already. If you're not doing things, you're kind of like getting yourself killed. Like it's kind of like what's called Nourish, except that you're a priest, so you don't really have that many options to clear your opponent's board. So like, what? It's too expensive. It's too slow. 3 out of 10. Next, we have Mindbreaker. It's a 3 mana 2/5 neutral card. Hero powers are disabled. So basically, this is the supposed Blizzard's way of countering the OP hero powers, right? So you're gonna use this a lot in adventures, obviously, but you also be using this a lot against like people who play the corrupted version of the heroes, right? If they play corrupted heroes and then you play Mindbreaker, they're like, oh crap, what am I gonna do now, right? They can't do it. They can't abuse their hero powers. Even Jiraxxus, for example, can use their hero power, and then they're forced to deal with this card before they can even start using their hero powers again. So this might be good against like the OP hero powers. They can get rid of like Taunt Warriors, Ragnaros hero power as well. So it's pretty good. I think it's really, really good. Except that it's pointless against normal heroes. So if you're like playing against people who are not playing the corrupted versions or not playing Taunt Warrior, then you're kind of like just wasting your time. The stat line is of 2/5 is okay-ish. You can pick this in arena, no problem, as a vanilla card. However, it's like still 6 out of 10. Like it's still not that applicable until like we see later on if the corrupted heroes are really that OP, which I maintain they actually not so much. Next we have Obsidian Statue. It's a 9 mana 4/8 priest card. Taunt, Lifesteal, Death Rattle. 3 keywords. Destroy an a random enemy minion. So it's a 9 mana card. It has strong text but bad stats, right? It's too slow, it's too clunky. Sure, you got taunt lifesteal, you can lifesteal 4. You don't have divine shield, so you're kind of gonna have to probably take like 2 hits and then it's gone. It's definitely good with return from Ember. However, let's be serious here. 9 mana is pretty much 10 mana in Priest. You kind of don't have a lot of like 1 mana cards that Priest uses if they're gonna have to, if they want to play Obsidian Statue. They're not gonna play Inner Fire, they're gonna play other stuff, right? So there are not many 1 mana cards left for Priest to use after casting this. So yeah, it's a great arena card though. However, in Constructed, this might be a little bit too clunky to use at all. 6 out of 10. Next, we have Centum Freebooter. It's a 4 mana free neutral card. Battlecry gains stats equal to your weapons, so you may be using this for your Pirate Warrior synergy. Stats include durability into health, right? Because they say stats, they didn't say attack. So you can gain stats, you upgrade, and then suddenly your Fiery War Axe is like a 5/4, for example, and then what you gonna do? You add 5 attack to this pirate, and then another 4 health into this pirate. It becomes a what, 8/7. That's really good, really good. Except that now Pirates Warriors are facing a whole bunch of taunts. You have your Tar Creepers, you have the Taunt Druids coming up. You have a lot of taunts. So I don't see Pirate Warriors working out nowadays, and I'm giving this a 6 out of 10. Next, we have Righteous Defender. It's a 1 mana 1/1 paladin card, taunt with divine shield. So it's a better Argent Squire, and even Argent Squire alone have been seeing play even today. So I think this is a very great anti-aggro card. It has divine shield synergy. It's a 1 mana card, so you can play this into Rallying Blade. It becomes a 2/2 taunt divine shield. It's really good overall. I think it's a 9 out of 10. You can combo this with a lot of different good stuff. Great card. Next, we have Roll the Bones. It's a 2 mana rogue spell. Draw a card. If it has Death Rattle, cast this again. So rogues are very spell based, and this is just another spell. If you're gonna draw a card, it's probably gonna be a spell. You're probably not gonna draw Death Rattle, and rogues really don't have that many Death Rattle cards, right? Let's be honest here. They have Jade Swarmer, sure, and then you can Jade Swarmer into like the skeleton guy. I forget the name. But it's really just not good enough right now. Death Rattle rogues are not a thing, and it probably won't be a thing until maybe in the next expansion. We don't know. Right now, the cards that are reviewed for rogues are still not very Death Rattle-y, so I don't think it's good enough. 3 out of 10. Next, we have Runeforge Haunter. It's another rogue card. It's a 4 mana 5/3. During your turn, your weapon doesn't lose durability. So weapons rogue, this is something that Blizzard is trying to like let you explore, except that the only weapon that rogues are getting in this expansion is actually like the one that the Fiery War Axe with immunity, right? And I don't think that's good enough, right? We probably should wait until the next expansion to see if weapons rogue is good. Right now it's not. Like you sure have your leeching poison, you have your envenom weapon, but I don't think that's good enough. It's an okay arena card though, because like you do have your daggers and stuff and whatnot, but we'll see. Even with your dagger that doesn't lose durability, it really doesn't do that much. Next, we have Shadow Ascendant. It's a 2 mana 2/2 priest card. At the end of your turn, give another friendly minion +1/+1, another random friendly minion. So essentially it's a 2 mana 3/3 if you have another minion on the board, and it with taunt, right? So basically people want to kill this off first, otherwise your minions will just keep growing. So it's definitely a great arena card, and it's a decent 2-drop for priest because of the kind of taunt factor. So I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Priests need a lot of good 2-drops, and this is actually one of the better ones. Next, we have Shadow Reaper Anduin. It's the Priest Corrupted version, and it's an 8 mana Battlecry, destroy all minions with 5 or more attack. So the keyword here is all minions, including your own. So you kind of want to play this in a more control-ish priest. And if you couple this with Shadow Word Horror, you can clear the board immediately, except you don't have enough mana to do that. So what am I saying? Forget what I just said. You can if you combo this with like Raza the Chained and Lyra Sunshard, this might become really good. Except that if you play Raza the Chained, you're gonna make your deck really inconsistent. If you play Lyra the Sunshard, it's the same thing, right? You're getting random cards, so it's also inconsistent. So it's kind of really weird. Priests are altogether really inconsistent, right? Without the refresh for Void Form Hero Power, I would rather play a Shadow Form Priest, right? Because it is the same effect, deal 2 damage. You might even be able to deal 3 damage if you run 2 cards of Shadow Form. So like, in order for Void Form to be useful, you need to use your Hero Power, and then play a card, and then use your Hero Power, and then play a card, and then use your Hero Power. Except that the priest cards might cost way too much for you to use your hero power multiple times. So yeah, I'm thinking like this is only okay. I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. The initial effect of destroying minions might be good, but it might not be good enough, right? Definitely good against Jade Druids, except that they can just flood the board again later on. Next, we have Simulacrum. It's a 3 mana mage spell. Copy the lowest cost minion in your hand. This is actually one of the better mechanics and is good card design. It makes Exodia Mage even more possible because, like, for example, if your lowest cost minion is Sorcerer's Apprentice, and then you can just copy it and put it in your hand, and then suddenly you have 2 Sorcerer's Apprentice, and then you can Molten Reflection into Antonidas, and then you can just Exodia Obliterate. Alright, so things like that will happen. Except, and also you can manipulate this card by casting your small minions first. It's good because, like, if your lowest cost minion is 1 cost and then you want to copy a 2 cost, it's really good. So you just pay 1 mana, summon a minion, and then play Simulacrum, and you get 2 cards of your Sorcerer's Apprentice, and you can do a lot of good things with it. I rate this, for card design, I think this is 10 out of 10, but we still don't know if the card is played on the board or in the hand. It did not specify in this card itself, but I'm assuming you get this and put it in your hand. So I'm still gonna rate it a 5 out of 10. If it plays it on the board, then I'm even gonna rate it lower, like 3 out of 10, because like I don't want to play my Sorcerer's Apprentice immediately. I want to put it in my hand and wait and then combo with my Exodia. Next, we have Skulking Geist. It's a 6 mana 4/6 neutral card. Battlecry, destroy all 1 cost spells in both hands and decks. So what are some 1 cost spells that are really annoying to deal with, right? 1 cost spells are quests. The only problem is this is a 6 mana card, and quests are 1 mana cards that are in your hand, right? There are very few people who play quests that put their quests back into the deck. Warriors being the only one that I can think of right now. So like, you're dealing with quests, it doesn't work. But there are other 1 mana cost spells that are really annoying, like Urban Scales, for example. If you're dealing with Jade Druids, then Urban Scales and Jade Idols are out the window, which makes this really good. It's also effective against like the Health Priests, where you get rid of their inner fire, and then what do they have? They have nothing, and all their minions with high health suddenly become useless. So it's really good there. Against those token shamans that are really annoying as well, you get rid of Evolve, and that is insane. Getting rid of Evolve is like removing their only win condition, except that they also have Bloodlust, right? So one of the win conditions. Yeah, so it's really good. It helps if in normal situations it's slow, and it pretty much only maintains your tempo. Obviously you don't want to play this if you're a Jade Druid. You don't want to play this if you're priest. So yeah, it really depends. Next, we have Thrall Deathseer, the corrupted version of our Shaman. So it's a 5 mana battle cry. Transform your minions into random ones that cost 2 more. So did someone say they liked Evolve? Here's a 5 mana Evolve twice, right? And you get 5 armor for that as well. You change your hero power to Transmute Spirit, transform a friendly minion into a random one that costs 1 more. So basically, you're just evolving. except that Evolve was strong was only because it costed 1 mana. Right, you can play your Doppelgangster into Evolve and then it becomes a really really good combo. However, you can't play Doppelgangster into Thrall Deathseer. It's just not possible. 6 mana, 5 mana, it's 11 mana. That's not enough. Oh wait, no. Actually you can, but you need to do that in turn 10, which is like really really awkward as well. So this is a slightly more clunky version of double evolve. It might not be good enough. So I'm rating this as 7 out of 10. We'll see if it works or not. Next, we have Tomb Lurker. It's a 5 mana 5/3 neutral card. Battlecry, add a random Death Rattle minion that died this game into your hand. I think 5 mana is a little too costly for this card. If you get a random Death Rattle, the random Death Rattle minion you want to get is something that is really really good Death Rattles, right? But really good Death Rattles also cost a lot. So if you play this card, you'll only be able to play your good Death Rattle cards next turn, and then later on, your Death Rattle cards only proc even later. So you're kind of like delaying all your value into the later stages of the game. So it might not be that good. A stat line of 5/3 makes this really quickly killable, so it's not that good in Arena as well. Okay, technically it's decent because you get a card. So we'll see. 5 out of 10. Next we have Treachery. 3 mana Warlock card. Choose a friendly minion, your opponent gains control of it. So I think this is too cute. It is too costly, even at 1 mana, right? You might not be able to see play. So for example, if we change this to a 1 mana, choose a friendly minion, your opponent gains control of it. People might not even use this card, right? For example, the only good uses are when you play Doomsayer into Treachery. That's like 5 mana to clear the board. I think that's okay, but you're using 2 cards to clear the board when you can use like a Defile and clear the board. We'll have to see how that works, right? You can try and play Bitter-Tide Hydra into Treachery and then you're spreading Madness later on in the game. It's still kind of cute, right? It's not good enough. You can play Taking Abomination into Treachery. Sure, well suddenly he has a chance of destroying his own board, but why? This is just not good enough. It's a clown out of 10. Clown out of 10. Next, we have Ultimate Infestation. It's a Druid 10 mana card. Deal 5 damage, draw 5 cards, gain 5 armor, summon a 5/5 ghoul. So technically, it's like a Kazakus potion all in one, right? Except that it might be a turn 10 mill yourself. You don't have to worry about milling yourself though, as Jade Druid, because you can't mill yourself. You can just shuffle more Jade Idols into your deck. So it really depends on how you use this card. It's a very very good card in Arena. A 10 mana do a lot of things. It's pretty good. But you might not last until turn 10 as a Druid, unless you draft a lot of the new taunt minions. Next we have Unwilling Sacrifices, a 3 mana Warlock card that is unplayable. Basically choose a friendly minion, destroy it, and a random minion, enemy minion. So basically if you kill an egg, you kill an enemy. You don't want to kill anything else in your board just to kill an opponent's deck, right? Or opponent's minion, unless your opponent's minions are bigger, right? This card is only usable in like really desperate situations, like you're gonna die, so you need to kill something that is really really big, right? Otherwise it's just simply not playable. So I rated it a 2 out of 10. It's not good enough. 3 mana is also too costly. Next we have Valeera the Hollow. It's our final card of the day. It's a 9 mana corrupted rogue. Battlecry, gains stealth until the end, until your next turn. So make sure you attack first before playing it, otherwise you're gonna look really really stupid. And when you play the card, the hero power becomes a passive hero power. It's one of the first passive hero powers that are playable by you. So let's take a look, right? During your turn, add a Shadow Reflection to your hand. So make sure your hand has enough space for your Shadow Reflection to appear. And each time you play a card, transform this into the card that you played. So first thing that comes to mind is Quest Rogue, right? But that's not good enough. Quest Rogue you want to finish by turn 5, otherwise you lose the game. So Quest Rogue is out of the picture. This is our first ever stealth hero, but stealth heroes can still be hit by AoE that damages heroes. It can also, like Consecration, like Holy Nova, these can always damage heroes. So even like for example the wild card that is Cobra Shot, it also hits. You can even have Knuckles hit a minion, and Knuckles will still hit the hero. So it really depends on what you want to do. It's still possible to hit Valeera when she's stealth, right? So Steady Shot is obviously one of the other options to hit Valeera even if she's stealthed. So stealth is not immune, you can still kill her. Next we have Miracle. I think Miracle Rogues. This is one of the Miracle Rogues' favorite card, right? Except that Miracle Rogues don't want to play something as clunky as 9 mana. You already have a lot of cards in your hand, and then like you keep drawing and drawing and drawing. I mean, this might serve as a very good last ditch effort, but you definitely don't want to play this like immediately at turn 9. You kind of want to wait until like at the very almost end of the game, and you're running out of steam and your opponents are still alive, and then you kind of want to do that. Otherwise it's not so good, and you might be milling yourself if you have like an auctioneer in play. So like you have a lot of shadow reflections in your hand, and then you keep drawing cards and you burn your own cards. That's not good enough. So I'm rating it a 7 out of 10. It's really difficult to play as well, so we'll have to see. So that's pretty much it for this episode of the first impressions. Obviously I might be wrong, so if you think I'm wrong, please leave a comment down below and let me know what kind of things that I might have gone off point, and we'll see. Anyway, the Blizzard also announced that Frozen Throne is releasing in the August of 10th, so that's probably around a week away. And I'm really very excited to open the packs, and if you want you can pre-order some packs for a really pretty decent card back as well. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next episode. There will be an extremely huge live stream that releases the rest of the cards later this week or next week, and then we'll see about those cards as well. So that's it. Bye bye.